that's it. We just want to win for our team.
My goodness! And Amy finishes it!
Yeah, we're just as good as the men. We're better.
It's a huge point for the Bay Area.
Good chance that's the #1 highlight of the week. What up, everybody? Welcome to week number 13 of MLTT Major League Table Tennis, coming to you live from Wichita, Kansas. I'm Adam Bobrow, and I'm thrilled to be here because we have a lot to look forward to. Are you guys ready for the action? Then first, let's welcome our officials. We've got Jovana Knežević and Jorge Campos. And coming in first, the second place team with 194 points. Make some noise for the Portland Paddlers! Led by coach Christian Lilyrose, following him Ko-Lei, Ji-Wei Shaw, Tyrese Knight, the Night Train, Isaac Vila, Rachel Sung, and Jonathan McDonald. And following them in third place, coming in now with 183 points, make some noise for Texas Smash! Led by digital coach on the cell phone, Jorg Bitsy Gayo, Hiromitsu Kasahara, Nandan Naresh, David Macbeth, Daryl Tsao, Amy Wong, and Nishant Lebaka. So without any further ado, now that all the warriors are here, let's shake some hands and slap some skins and let the games begin.
Good afternoon and welcome. We are in lovely Wichita, Kansas, the air capital of the world. Inside Koch Arena on the campus of Wichita State University, home of the Shockers, but MLTT has invaded the premises, and the final regular season weekend in the West Division begins with the Portland Paddlers and the Texas Smash. Both these teams dreaming of continuing their seasons at the championship event 3 weeks from now in Chicago. But only 2 of these 4 teams will qualify for that championship weekend, and currently the Bay Area Blasters have the 5-point edge over the Paddlers. Portland 11 points up on Texas. Seattle still clinging to hope. And we are so excited to have you with us alongside the Olympian Sean O'Neill. I'm Evan Lepler, and Sean, it all comes down to this for the West Division, and it's funny how we start with the team that's currently in second against the team that's currently in third. Feels like a must-perform day for the Texas Smash.
Yeah, both teams have to start strong right out of the gate. If they show up late, they're going to be in trouble because this is going to set the stage for the rest of the weekend.
And over the course of the season, these two teams have played some thrilling matches. We got some breaking news from a lineup perspective, but first, let's look at how these two teams have fared against one another throughout the season. Texas came from behind in the Golden Game to win in September. It was all Portland in October. Texas had the edge and a really close comeback in November. Overall, the Smash have won 3 out of the 5 matches, despite the fact that Portland has outperformed Texas prior to the Golden Game. But that sets the stage for what we've got coming up here today. And the biggest surprise as we show you the lineup is that Ko-Lei is not playing doubles for Portland. He'll still play singles against Hiromitsu Kasahara in that first position, but you look in the doubles portion of the evening, and Ji-Wei Shaw steps in for Ko-Lei, who apparently has been under the weather over the course of the past month. So Christian Lilyrose thinking that Ko-Lei didn't have the energy to play both singles and doubles. So Jiwei plays doubles with the Olympian Rachel Sung. What else catches your eye as you look at the really important match we've got coming up?
Well, I really think the first match with Kole and Kazahara is really going to tell us which team is really going to put the pressure on. But I think the Vila match in the singles match number 2 against Macbeth, that's the opportunity for Texas to possibly sweep. So Portland has to build some points going into that game.
Well, Kole has been the top dog in the West Division all season long. Drafted with great expectations, and quite frankly, he has delivered. He's gone 35-7 in singles games, 30-15 in doubles games. He's won more than 10 more golden points. He's won than he's lost, golden game points, I should say. And we'll see, what he has. Christian Lilyrose kind of shaking his head, hopeful, but didn't seem too optimistic. But look, I'm not counting out Kole by any means. Meanwhile, Kasahara has been a guy that has come on strong. Did not play the second event of the season for the Smash, but he's had an above 500 record in singles in every single weekend this season.
I think, Evan, also by putting Jiwei Shaw into the doubles, that's going to benefit him when he plays the final singles match. It's always nice to have a chance to put balls into play before you go into singles. So I'm sure there's going to be some upside for the slight switch, of course. Rachel, both her and Amy will be as roommates going head-to-head in the doubles, that adding an extra wrinkle they will be in
First game
Paris
to play.
this summer together.
Smash serves.
So
And obviously, big time congrats to both Rachel and Amy, and obviously Lily Zhang as well, the Bay Area Blasters, all three of them qualifying for the Olympics. Talk about that more. We are underway here in Wichita. And Kole bouncing around after winning that opening point.
every game counts a huge amount. And oh, there, Kazahara
2-0.
Inauspicious start.
feeling possibly some of the pressure early on.
All 3 points so far, won by the returner. And the Japanese representative for the Smash has drawn back level. Kind of surprising, considering it's the 6th time we're seeing Texas versus Portland. But this is the first time that Kasahara and Kole have played in a singles match. The Macbeth Vila second singles showdown will also be their first ever meeting.
I think
As will be the 4th singles between Jiwei and Nandan. They have not played in a singles match this season either.
I'm guessing the doubles is a completely different one as well because of
That's right.
Jiwei subbing in. So in this particular match, Kazahara is the speedier player. He likes to put a lot of tempo on his first ball. Kole has a lot more spin, a little heavier type of ball. When he gets it in, it flies. But Kazahara wants to get the attack going, take the rhythm away from Kole, and just keep constant pressure on him.
Apology for the net ball, but after dropping the first 2 points on his serve, Kasahara has come back to win 5 of the last 6.
Ooh,
And
that
he
was
missed
a
it.
big mistake there.
5-4.
Not Kole's best return, but he was fortunate.
Let. Four, 6.
Just like last West Division event, late February in Seattle, the Texas Smash head coach Jorg Zigayo is only present virtually. They got him on the iPhone. He was involved in the lineup selection meeting about an hour before this match started. And he's got his eye from Germany on the action here in Wichita.
Smash serves.
You were in Seattle, Sean. I was not. I mean, what were your big takeaways watching how Jorg managed that unique situation? And I mean, how big of a disadvantage is it for the Smash to not have their coach here?
It really is a big disadvantage for them. They did the best that they could in the situation. However, there was a little bit in the very first match that Kazuhara played in Seattle. He wasn't even sure what was going on, so he just took it amongst himself to do what he normally does. And look at that block by Cole.
5-9.
That's a monster backhand block down the line. But just to go back to the previous point, Jorg was able to speak with all the players, both after the matches, kind of giving them a pep talk, letting them know what they need to focus on. But definitely they would be performing much stronger if he was here standing up, cheering, being able to speak directly and read body language a little bit easier. Kazuhara with a very nice start here in game one, but Cole trying to make a final first game surge to get that ever important first point on the board. Oh, he had an opportunity again. Cole's pushing a lot of these topspin serves. That's why they're popping up so much. Very difficult to keep the ball low.
Game point, Kazuhara. And that'll do it for game one. Hiromitsu Kazuhara, slow start. Forehand error and then a service error on the first 2 points on his serve, but man, he closed strong. 11-7 in game one. The Smash are on the board and we are underway here in Wichita. Cole set to serve to start game two.
0-1.
During the short, brief break in between games 1 and 2, I found myself pulling up the MLTT fantasy website on fantasizer.com because I was curious. Now that the lineups are locked, now I can see exactly who Sean O'Neill picked. And I found myself looking for Sean's roster, which has been MLTT color, but I did not realize until just now that you change your team name at this late stage of the season. Sean's team is now called MLTT Color to beat Evan! Exclamation point.
Gotta bring your A game. This is the final weekend of the Western Conference, so bragging rights before the finals. In full force. And Cole,
what motivated you to change your team's name this late stage of the season?
I think just learning that that was one of the options. I could have been doing it every single week, knowing that I could have added Matt's name to it, but he's so far ahead of me that I've got to just focus on the one right in front.
Well, the nice thing about MLTT Fantasy is every weekend is a new opportunity.
4-3.
4-3 lead for Kazuhara here in game two.
And Evan, Cole just doesn't look good, and
whoa,
that's his second missed serve.
That doesn't look good either.
By Kazuhara, who's keeping it even by having difficulty with his own serve. But after that first game, Cole took so much time to get back for the coaching, just kind of huffing and puffing. He knows he cannot afford to go down in a sweep here in the first match.
So yes, it's the first time these two guys have played a singles match. But if you're Kazuhara, you've watched Cole closely.
4-6.
I mean, what are the keys going against Cole from Kazuhara's perspective?
I mean,
5-6.
right now, Cole looks like he's playing at about 60% of his normal self. Again, Kasahara is so
7-5.
fast. It's
Federers.
easy to have that happen because he takes the ball off the bounce so quickly. Cole has slightly longer strokes and he's not giving him much time. But if you just watch the facial expression of Cole after every point, it just seems like he's just really kind of
7-6.
dragging.
That swing in particular, just a lethargic attitude from Cole right now. He said he's been dealing with an illness for much of the past month, we were told. That's a tough break right there, adding insult to the illness.
Yeah, you can just see Cole just really taking his time, getting some extra breaths in. Instead of driving the ball, he's just simply returning it.
And he's hanging around. He's got a 1-point lead here, up 8-7. He does look like a boxer in like the 12th round of a 12-round fight.
And he's lost the last 6. So, I mean, he needs to.
Let.
Again, it looks like he's going for the defensive serve return. A lot of these are topspin serves.
8-8. Federers.
Cheer from the Texas Smash bench. Anand Naresh, Nishant Lavaka, and the virtual Jorg Vitzigayo on what looks like an iPhone over there.
Oh, that was a big backhand loop by Cole.
9-8.
That's more like it.
8-10.
Again, just you can see him struggling in between the points.
Kasahara back within 1.
9-10.
Remember, these are games to 11 straight, not win by 2. 4 singles matches with a 1 doubles match, all 3 games to 11, each worth 1 point, all leading to the golden game.
Oh, monster point for the
11-9.
Paddlers.
Second
Cole
game,
avoids our first golden point of the weekend and claims game 2, 11-9. So we will have an early rubber game in this opening singles match. Cole and Hiromitsu Kasahara, 1 game apiece.
Cool, we're all safe. It's all good. The big man with the deep voice is following some of these teams. You start to wonder. No, that's good, Richard. So what's your history with table tennis? I like it. It leads to our hashtag, think you're good. This is good. If you have any questions, keep thinking of them. We'll be back. This is the decider. Game number 3. Let me hear you.
Game 3 underway, and a good first serve from Kasahara, returned
1-0.
wide. Texas Smash and the Portland Paddlers both trying to get the early leg up here.
0-2.
We're updating these standings game by game, point by point. And you said earlier, well, you know, if Texas could win this match 16-5, it would be huge. Well, if they win this match 16-5 by that exact score, Texas and Portland would be tied heading into Saturday. Texas just can't lose this match 16-5. Then it might be an insurmountable deficit with just 2 days left in the regular season.
And I have to think, knowing that the Paddlers came to Wichita early to train, that Christian has a very good pulse of how the players are playing, and seeing Cole just struggle right now makes me think that that doubles choice, of course he's going to make great shots, and positionally he still knows what to do, but Kasahara, footwork-wise, speed-wise, tempo-wise, he's playing as well as he ever has.
3-2.
As much as we're saying Cole is struggling, he won the last game 11-9. He's within 1 point here. far from out of it. He's holding his own. And he gets a net ball winner right there. It does have to look like if this was just another random mid-season weekend, you know, maybe he'd be back at the hotel resting or stayed at home.
Yeah,
but with this basically being a playoff weekend for Portland.
Yeah, this is a Final Four. I mean, you got to get into the Final Four by winning here.
Yeah.
So Coley knows the significance, and he's going to use all the energy that he can muster. You can just watch his body language after every point. He's just really taking his time.
It's not like he's normally, you know, Nikhil Kumar pumping his fists, shouting after every point. He's usually pretty quiet, but there is a difference to what we've seen all season long for sure.
5-3.
Understand there have been some questions in the YouTube comments asking about the rules determining the A-B slots and the C-D slots. We'll have that conversation during that next singles match that's coming up. I want to focus right now on
Game 3.
Game 3 between Coley and Kasahara. Macbeth and Ortiz is on deck. That's just Kasahara as good as it gets for him.
And Kasahara knows that Coley is going to be returning his serves with basically an over-the-table chop or push shot. So he's ready to rev it up right after the serve. Here comes the push, and here's the heavy topspins. And Coley's not attacking. Coley's blocking. He's kind of mortal there.
I feel like Coley's reflexes in terms of getting the paddle to the ball, which, you know, his next level ability to keep those high velocity forehands alive is what makes him such a great player. But you're right, he's not attacking.
Right, and so attacking is his A game. Putting his B game out there is going to really give Kasahara a chance to breathe and go for more angles, more shots in there. Two big serves.
7-5.
Christian Lilyrose did tell me that he I think ideally would have wanted to have Coley against Nandan Naresh, but lost the toss, so he put Coley in the #1 spot. And that allowed Jorg Bitzigayo to set the matchup of Kasahara in the 1 spot against Coley, putting Jiwei Shah against Nandan. Good rally there. Coley fighting with everything he's got to stay in the point and stay in the game.
Just great play from the backcourt here by Coley, just keeping it on the table, moving the ball around and just hoping for a mistake by Kasahara.
Timeout, Texas.
Watch the Texas smash right now. Jorg Bitzigayo.
It's almost
puppeteer
hard work for Coley to get back to the bench.
Nishant Labaka.
Well, that's the other reason.
Nishant's one of the shyest guys I know, but when he's wearing those
Nishant
headphones,
Labaka's got the AirPods in,
Bitzigayo.
passing on Jorg's advice. What I was going to say, though, Christian chose to start Coley in the first single spot, in part because he's going to have a long rest before the Golden Game.
Exactly.
He was playing in that 4 single spot, and there's Jorg.
Players playing very cautiously, playing almost the way you would with wet balls.
Still a reasonable hour in Germany, so it works out today for Texas. The smash will play in the later match tomorrow at 7 p.m. Central Time, and then Texas plays 11 a.m. Central here on Sunday.
7-6. Smash to serve.
Kasahara has to get on the offense right off of this serve return.
Oh,
and a
my.
net ball.
7-0.
Can't make this stuff up. Coley gets the serve back.
And
He's
again,
got a rally going right now.
third
7.
underspin serve in a row that Coley has delivered to get direct points.
Just missed catching the edge.
8,
And it's
8.
8-all. This is strangely riveting to see Coley clearly lacking his A game, but continuing to grind, mixing and matching, using his smarts. Big Chole from
9,
Kasahara.
8.
And
He
Coley did
takes the lead.
a nice offensive flip on the serve return out to the backhand, but Kasahara quickly jumped on it, kept the offensive pressure alive.
You need towel.
9 serving 8. Wet spot on the table. And on the paddle, perhaps. Assistant umpire Jorge Campos coming to the table.
Do not want a wet spot
you.
changing the outcome of this
9,
game.
8.
Cole will get the serve back. He needs to win both these points on his serve to create a golden point. About 15% of all games this season have come down to a golden point. Never have had a higher percentage of golden points than when we were in New Jersey a few weeks ago, Sean. It was unbelievable how many games were 10-all or 10-9 that went down to the wire. The Princeton Revolution, I mean, what a weekend for them. What a turnaround of their season. Got to imagine that Matthias Habasson and his team
8,
looking on,
10.
scouting perhaps for a championship weekend.
Oh, big save there by Cole.
9, 10.
Able to deal with that very strong forehand flip. Just to keep the ball in play is amazing.
His last breath, it feels like he's continuing to battle. But Kasahara with just a little too much. Takes
2-1 smash.
game 3, 11-9. So Kasahara gets the smash, off to a solid start. The Texas team begins this weekend in 3rd place, but they still have their championship dreams very much alive. And Kasahara takes down Cole to set the tone for the weekend here in Wichita.
Next players.
And we are joined now by Texas's Hiromitsu Kasahara. Congratulations, man. That was intense. Clearly, Cole, not his typical self, but he still threw everything he had at you. What were your thoughts going into that match, and how does it feel to take 2 out of 3?
This time, so first match in Wichita, and also Cole is good player. So I think before the match, difficult to play. So I focus my job.
How difficult is it for the team not to have Jorg here, but having to use technology to bring him in?
Yeah, difficult, but yeah, not this time Dave is come here, then Dave and me, so experience is good. So we together both coach to coach and coach as a player. So this time easier than last weekend.
Hiromitsu, what advice did you get during the timeout during game 3?
Only yeah, take a time. No, this play is good. Yeah, I think play is good, but too much pressure and too much unforced error. So take.
All right, take a deep breath here, Hiromitsu.
Yeah.
You got to play doubles in a little bit, and then a golden game. So your day's just getting started, but congrats on a solid start. Thank you. So we move to the second singles spot, and for the first time all season, David McBeth is in the second singles spot against Isaac Villa Ortiz from the Dominican, playing for the Paddlers. Now, why is Macbeth playing in the second singles spot? Well, since I think October, the first and fourth singles spots have been designated for the AB players, and the second and third singles spots have been designated for the CD players. How are the AB and CD slots determined? By their USATT ranking. Basically, the 5 players that are eligible to play that day that are active are ranked by the course of their ranking. So the top 2 players are automatically in the AB slot. And this is the first time all year that Macbeth's ranking has dipped below Kasahara and Naresh. So Macbeth is in the CD spot for the first time. And now you may think, well, Dave Macbeth, he's going to feast on these lower tier opponents. Well, maybe he will. But Christian Lilyrose did say Isak Vila has been playing some of his best table tennis recently. And David Macbeth has not gotten a ton of sleep, Sean, over the past couple weeks because his first child was born on March 23rd. Congratulations to the Macbeth family on the birth of their daughter, Freya. So it's an exciting time in the Macbeth household. But Sean, as you know as a parent, as I know as well, those first 2 weeks can be tricky from a sleep standpoint, and you know you mix in the travel and the jet lag and the change of longitude and time zones and everything that goes into it. There's a lot of variables under the surface heading into this match.
And just keeping an eye on your phone in case all of a sudden you get a text message. So
well, the baby's born now, but yes, yeah. I hear you. Those are scarier moments traveling when the baby's just still on the way. 3-all through 6. I mean, how big of a favorite do you look at Macbeth in this matchup? You also got to factor in that Dave did not play in Seattle, so he hasn't played MLTT since January.
I think tactically, I would rate him as a big favorite, knowing that what he needs to do to get his offense going, how to stymie Vila's serve and serve return is going to be there, but the challenge is it's the execution. It's not knowing what to do. It's just he hasn't been match tested over the last 2 weeks, last month. So often it'll take you a game or two to get into that flow. And as we know in Major League Table Tennis, you don't have time. You have to be ready right out of the chute. And Vila, right now, he's looking very strong with the serve at 6-3. If he gets this point, that Cole match, and look at there. I mean, this is one of those where Portland expects Cole to always take 2 or 3. And this was one of those matches. I asked Christian before what he thought Vila, could he stop a sweep? And Christian was like, this is not a good matchup for us. So right now, Vila bringing the upset-minded paddlers.
Feeling a little bit better about the matchup now, I'd say. Game 1 far from over, but great start for Isak Vila.
And I just think that being in good shape training-wise, paddlers came here to Wichita a few days early to keep that momentum coming from Everett, as well as getting some doubles practice.
Vila held his own in Seattle. He went 3-3 in singles the last West Division event late February.
Oh, and that is a huge point for Vila.
Sure is.
Great over-the-table backhand attack by Mr. Macbeth, and Vila able to track it down. Oh, and you can hear the paddlers all going woo. I mean, what a change in pre-game outlook. And then
service error to finish game 1. Isak Vila Ortiz. What underdog? 11-4 for the Dominican. And a slow start for Macbeth. The big Brit, we'll see if he can rebound from what clearly was not his best stuff.
devotees to MLT team is the best. So raise your hand if you play for Singapore. These guys don't crash the party, show up like, oh, we clean the bathroom. Come on, let's go play some table tennis. You can apply for a job. There are a lot of companies, by the way. Deloitte, I don't know if you've heard of Deloitte. Deloitte hires table tennis players a lot because one of the partners, the higher-ups, loves table tennis. Even players professionally in this league.
So we're tied 2-2 on the team tally right now. As Cole took 1 point against Kasahara in their 3 games, and Vila takes the opening point against
Second
Macbeth in the second
Smash,
singles
serve.
match.
0-0.
It's amazing, Sean, how while this is the 6th
0-1.
time that Texas and Portland have played, in a lot of ways, every new weekend feels like a completely new season in some ways. And obviously you tack on the results from September,
1.
October, November, December, January, February, and now April. But doesn't it feel like a blank slate with just fresh opportunity for each of these teams and each of these players?
It really does, and I think with 8 players on each team, the chances for the coaches to go strategic, mix it up, especially if a player got blown out of the water the last time they played, wanting to switch it up. And again, this matchup here today being such a critical match in the playoff race, having new faces and new lineups, Vila has to make sure now that he's got 1 game that he doesn't go passive and just hope that Macbeth continues to have issues with execution. Vila needs to play offensive-minded and get his attacks going. Otherwise, he's going to give Macbeth a chance to get back into a rhythm that he didn't have in game 1. When you have a lead, the last thing you want to do is slow the pace down. Let the opposition get their game back on.
What have you noticed different from Macbeth's perspective in these first 6 points in game 2?
He's able to keep trying his attacks. He's not being forced out of his game, and that just means to me that further into the match, he'll have made enough of the balls to get his rhythm, to get his timing. But the first game was all timing. I mean, he just was off. Vila didn't put a lot of balls by him. Macbeth just had trouble finding, especially even on the last serve, missing his own serve. So
3 straight for Vila. He's back even at 4 all in game 2. And I know from listening to you and Matt and others throughout the season, just playing high-level table tennis is kind of the best preparation. You can't simulate the high-level competition. So how do you, if you're someone like Macbeth who's been on a paternity leave of some sorts, or someone who's been under the weather, what's the key to accelerating your kind of re-assimilation back to that high level as quickly as possible?
Yeah, there's 2 ways. One is you dig deep into your bag of experience. You say, like, I've had to do this at other times. The other things, and that's a lucky net ball on the counterattack. The other thing you do is you focus on the fundamentals. You make sure that you're moving your feet. You make sure that you're giving yourself some leeway between every shot. You're not trying to thread a needle per se, but get the ball into play. Give yourself a chance, if you've misread the spin, to make sure you've got enough margin in order to keep it in. When you're playing your best, you can go for anything, and then you can thread the needle. But when you're off, got to get the ball on the table, not go for crazy shots. So Vila needs to play as much offense on the serve and serve return. Otherwise, he's going to get those shots on him.
7-6.
Pushing high is not an offensive return. Macbeth is just too strong, too experienced, and too tall.
6,
short balls.
8.
At 6-all, that was the opportunity for Vila.
9-6 lead now for Macbeth.
Now Macbeth can put pressure on Vila to make the big shot. Net serve.
David was the second round pick of the Smash, 13th overall back in August.
Look at that. So
10,
strong on the
6,
serve return.
smash.
This is not only Dave's first match as a father, but it's his first match as a 32-year-old. He celebrated his birthday in March. Vila's still alive here in game 2, fighting off 1 game
10,
point.
7.
Christian Lilyrose has to be pleased with how Vila's battled, taking game 1 convincingly, hanging tough in game 2. But that's going to be tough to handle when you
11,
pop up the
7,
return
second
like that.
game,
Macbeth specializes in putting those away. So for the second straight match, we're even 1 game apiece and a rubber game coming up. Macbeth responds after a slow start, takes game 2, 11-7.
I think we all feel you on that most relatable statement of the century. No doubt. Any questions so far? Yeah, question. Talk to me. In 1814, in the middle of Nepal, there was a village, and in this village there was a genie, and the genie, its name was Hushmak. Hushmak was basically they're wiping the sweat off their hands. Yeah. No, you can only use a towel every 6 points, so in between the wiping where the ball is unlikely to bounce, so it doesn't get the ball red. But I'll tell you more about the ball later. And the pants and the shirt could be wet because they're sweating a lot. There you go. Back for game number 3.
Nice to have Adam Bobrow back. Adam was not available for the event in New Jersey. Good to see the most colorful man in table tennis, and maybe the entire universe.
He was busy in Busan, Korea at the World Championships.
With Adam, he's usually talking or snacking. He's got a strawberry in his mouth right now. He's a healthy eater, though. I respect that about him. All right.
1.
1-1 here in game 3. 3-2 lead for Texas and the team tally. What would
1.
your advice to Isak Vila be? You were coaching him here before this 3rd game.
Open every serve. Don't allow Macbeth to be the offensive
all.
player.
What do you mean when you say open every serve?
Flip it, make topspin. If the ball comes off the table, make that first loop. You always have an option of trying to push it short to stop the opponent from making the first attack.
2, 3.
And Macbeth, if he's missing, he's going to miss more off of your attacks than off of a push or a safe defensive play. Beautiful deep serve by Vila, and that's a good combination there, but unable to convert. Needed to
4,
step in for that
2.
last forehand that just caught the net on the final loop. Right here, just catches the net, gotta be closer to the table. That was a soft ball, but you gotta move in. Macbeth is gonna control the short game due to his experience, his level, and as I said earlier, the height. But the longer rallies,
4,
when
3.
both players are just going full muscle, Vila is completely up to the challenge. And that was a nice return there. But Vila
5,
has
3.
to loop and then move forward. He cannot be getting jammed or backed up. Change ends at 5 here in the final game.
And the biggest surprise today in terms of the lineup
3,
was
5,
not
bad
seeing
numbers.
Collet in that double spot. Typically, it's been Collet and Rachel playing together. They've been the best doubles duo in the West Division.
Oh, that's a
G-Way fares later
4,
on.
5.
great play by Vila. Able to keep that rally going, keeping it really nice and low. And that's his second point on his serve to
5,
even it up.
all.
The one thing Coach Christian Lillarose has been saying is how much he's been impressed by Vila's improvement over this season. He really hasn't had that high level of coaching or practice partners that the paddlers give him. And he's made himself available for all early team practices coming out of Dominican Republic.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that, because the development for players really of all ages, we typically think of young players. You know, Vila's not an old man, but he's 27, he'll be 28 in August. And you know, for these MLTT franchises to be able to think long term, to be able to try and be successful now, but also to have young players. I think typically you want those players who are in those CD spots to be players that could ascend into the AB position.
Exactly, into the 1-2.
And if you have 3 or 4 AB caliber players, you're going to be in pretty good shape.
Well, I have a strong feeling that season 2, that the number of new international players is going to put a lot of pressure on the current 3-4s to really perform well this weekend and then in the playoffs, because everyone is replaceable if a stronger international player joins the pool.
Beth closing in. Too good.
And you can just see Macbeth
6-10.
putting more pressure on every shot, being safer, more consistent, finding the open target.
To let just barely catching the back edge of the table.
Vila continuing to fight. Very aggressive serves. I'm surprised that Macbeth is able to handle them as easy as he has.
Wow. 3 straight lets counts as an ace, right? No? Okay,
I
no.
think like bowling, it's a turkey.
10,
well,
8.
That's 2 straight points on his serve to try and force Macbeth to serve it out himself.
The last thing Macbeth would want to have happen is for this to go to a golden point. That would be highway robbery if Vila would be able to take 2 on his serve
8.
and to steal the game.
That'll end it. Great effort from
11,
Isak
8,
Vila
2, 1.
hanging in that point, but Macbeth came in as the favorite. Slow start, still gets the W. 2 out of 3 for Dave Macbeth, and that's 4 out of 6 for the Texas Smash. 11-8 for Macbeth in game number 3. We'll talk to Dave here momentarily.
So you'll see that here. You might be used to seeing Coley play with Rachel Sung, but today we've got a different pairing. I'll introduce to you the players now, representing Portland Paddlers, the left-handed player who's smiling like it's
2
a
minutes
birthday
warm-up.
for some reason. She's won medals for the United States from around the world. She's got a wrist from heaven. Put your hands together for Rachel Sung.
Dave Macbeth of the Texas Smash is putting the headset on after taking 2 out of 3 games over Isak Vila for the Smash. Dave, congrats on the 2 wins. I imagine the first game is not what you wanted.
No, not really.
What's going through your mind after that first game? How'd you turn it around?
I think I struggled a little bit with his serve, and also just a few easy mistakes. I'm not sure. Other than that, really, I could give credit to him as well, but I felt you guys might have counted, but I felt like I missed 3 or 4 first balls in that first set. That probably, yeah.
So generally, David, we always mention when you're playing how strong your short game is.
Yeah.
whether it's due to your height or just you've practiced it and that's one of your bigger skills. When you're playing against players like Vila, are you just focus on his serve return, keep it short, on your serve return, keep it short so that you can force that type of exchange?
He was trying to open it up a lot. He was practically serving long, half long all the time towards the end, because that was the tactic, to play short.
Right.
And I struggled to do that in the first set. I think I put a couple in the net, so then I just tried to open up my backhand after that.
And it seemed like when he was even serving really deep, you didn't have too much of a difficulty taking those off the bounce.
Yeah, I think actually that reverse serve I quite like if it goes long into backhand. Normally I'm not that, I struggle with long serves.
It looked very solid.
Dave, before we let you go, table tennis players have great reflexes, great hands. Has your athleticism translated into the diaper changing?
Not at all.
Not at all?
Not at all.
How's that going for you?
It's all right. I've not had much time before I've come here, obviously. So.
All right, Dave, thanks for the time. We'll see you in the Golden Game.
Thank you.
So different look for this Portland Paddlers doubles duo with Jiwei Shah stepping in for Collet. Jiwei played doubles with Rachel Sung, or actually with Collet the first weekend of the season, all the way back in September in Santa Cruz. And then Jiwei played doubles with Rachel's sister at the crossover weekend. That was with her twin sister Joanna.
They played exceptionally well, too. They had a couple really nice matches. Remember one comeback.
Joanna and Rachel are pretty different styles, though, on the table.
Different styles and different personalities as well. Joanna very vocal, bringing a lot of cholés and high fives with Jiwei. So Jiwei plays excellent doubles. There's no question about it. At the U.S. Open, U.S. tournaments around the country, he's often in the later rounds. So it's a different type of partner than Collet, who's so good on the serve and serve return. But look at Portland right now, 7-1. This is exactly what Coach Lillarose ordered.
Yeah, Wong and Kasahara looking a little stunned.
Oh, and that's a well-placed ball by Kasahara out to the wide forehand of the only lefty on the table. And Jiwei, very smart, mixing up the serve return, sometimes dropping it short, sometimes jamming it deep. And Rachel able to pick up a backhand loop off the bounce. So normally this order of Kasahara hitting to Rachel should be a big advantage for Texas.
Has not been the case.
But again, you've got to execute. Everything looks great on paper. And look at look at these shots here.
Portland's on fire, and Jiwei Shah and Rachel Sung absolutely obliterate the Texas Smash in game number 1. Just a fantastic start for both Rachel and Jiwei.
I did a little bit of research, and Deb, it turns out you've never been to Okinawa. What do you have to say about that?
contrary to many players in this
Feathers
league,
serve.
Rachel Sung
0,
does
0.
not wear her emotions on her sleeve. She is
Yes.
stoic, and win or lose, her expression rarely changes. Figured you'd get a smile after 11-3 win in game one, but no,
1,
still all
0.
business. With the work obviously not yet done.
And I really do like the partner matchup with Ji-Wei. He's been the heart and soul of the paddlers from
0,
day
2.
one. You still remember in Rock Hill against the Carolina Gold Rush when Portland got completely manhandled, and the only game they won was
on-
Ji-Wei's.
Online.
So he
No.
knows when push comes
Wrong
to
serve.
shove, it's on his shoulders.
Wrong serve. No, she was raised hand, yeah. Oh, correct. 0, 3.
So one thing you'll see, especially with table tennis like golf, the amount of sportsmanship. Got two roommates serving and receiving back to each other. With Amy
4,
Wong
0.
and Rachel Sung. We mentioned, of course, they both qualified for Team USA to go to Paris, the Olympic trials that were held recently. But how amazing it is to play against your
4,
roommate
1.
almost every single time here in the doubles competition.
Impressive stuff from both Ji-Wei Shaw and
1,
Rachel Sung.
5.
We got a smile out of Rachel there.
And even Amy had a little bit of a smile at her ability to get that first ball back before Ji-Wei unleashed that powerful forehand.
You know, I say that Rachel is stoic, you know, just kind of it amuses me because she's playing this intense game and rarely
1,
shows
6.
much emotion. But do you think that is intentional and purposeful and helpful to maintaining composure on the table?
I think it's with her personality. We've interviewed her a couple times and very low key.
7, 1.
And the beautiful thing about table tennis is your personality can really shine on the table, but it can also, if you're very quiet, kind of like in the old days of a tennis Bjorn Borg, who you never knew if he was winning or losing, it works in table tennis. You don't want to
7,
send a negative vibe. You don't want to have negative self-talk because the opponent can feed off of that. So I think both the body language
3,
and appearance
7.
that Rachel and Amy both do, it can really work for you. And a lot of players say, oh, they need to show more, they need to show more excitement. That requires energy. And as long as you're not berating
4,
yourself
7.
when you lose a point or getting down on yourself, I've never seen either of them do that. So personally, I like to make a little
7,
bit more noise.
5.
Interesting. 4 straight points for
Timeout,
Texas. And
fellas.
Kristen Lilyrose wants a timeout. Has the momentum swung, or is this just a blip? Let's listen into the Portland Paddlers huddle.
So what you do, your short game now is predictable, right? So they're waiting for it. So what you did, for instance, one time, like long, good push in the middle, of course, Amy, that was great. That's a great mix-up. So now they're expecting everything to be short. So now you have to do something long. You have to do either good long pushes or slow flips or anything like this. The short game is too predictable. Just go in, they directly go in and wait. They know it's coming short. So you have to do some variation long. That's the main thing.
Alexander with the
All right, let's do it.
Yeah.
Oh, answers. Yeah, that's a deal breaker. It's okay. We'll figure it out.
Do you agree with Christian's assessment there, Sean?
Yeah, you have to mix it up, especially in doubles where you're serving cross court, so the player knows where the serve's going, so there's not as much variability in what you have to do to return the
7,
serve.
5. Paddlers to serve.
It's always nice to get a little bit of a breather. And that time to serve
7,
wasn't
6.
a bad serve by Rachel, but Kazahara is just so strong on the backhand banana flips. Where he uses a lot of wrist. So
7,
normally
4.
coming out of a timeout, if you
Smash.
lose the next 2 points, kind of like to have that timeout back. And Rachel made a great backhand.
8,
Kazahara just made an even better one, sending Ji-Wei out to the wide forehand. What looked like a sizable second game lead has now turned.
7 straight points for Texas.
Oh,
Would have been 8 in a row
big
if Amy Wong
mistake.
could have put that away.
And we've seen that so far, Evan, with a number of high balls. Kazuhara had some real, I like to call them meatball, easy ball to put away. Oh, and that time Rachel tried to employ what Coach Lilloway said was mix up the deep balls with the short balls.
Look out, Jovana Knežević.
9-9.
And again, just credit G-Way covering the whole court, running all over to keep the offense going.
Stray ball into the side of the umpire.
Big
9
points
all.
here. Big points right now for both teams. Rachel's got to keep that ball a little bit lower. Amy's not giving Rachel anything to work with off the serve. Oh, great combination by Texas.
The 10-2 run to close out that game for the Smash after they were down 7-1. Portland took a timeout, but it did not fully stop the bleeding. And after a miserable start to that doubles match, Amy Wong and Hiromitsu Kasahara have found the range. Third rubber game of this team tilt coming up.
I wouldn't have been able to remember which state I was in after that happened. She made the right call, continued on like nothing happened. A big round of applause for Jovana Knežević. Wow, we only get the best in Major League Table Tennis. It's exciting times to be here right now. Now remember, Texas Smash needs this desperately. It's the first day of the weekend, and we have 2 team matches every day this weekend. I will be at all of them because it's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, not because I'm bound to be here, because I don't want to miss a single match. I hope it's the same for you guys, and right now, it's the
Certainly feels like a significant swing coming up here. Whoever can take this game. Texas trying to go up 6-3. You see the owner of the Portland Paddlers sitting alongside the coach of the Seattle Spinners. But if it's 6-3 or 6-4, it's a huge difference, particularly with the fact that Portland likes their matchups in the third and fourth singles games. I think perhaps better than they liked their matchups earlier.
It's going to be tough either way. I would almost say it's a little bit of a pick-em.
1-1.
Daryl Sal has played Tyrese Knight before, as well as I don't know if G-Way has played against Nanda.
They have not played an MLTT. What
One,
were the
two.
biggest things that changed in game 2 there? I mean, it was literally what, 18-5 for Portland before it swung 10-2 the other way.
Yeah, I think it was Texas' ability to play offense and put pressure on G-Way so that when his ball came back, they could continue it on Rachel. Just like here, Kazuhara takes that first opening by G-Way and just really moves it to the wide angles. As a lefty, Rachel loves to play in the backhand corner, both in singles and in doubles. So like that push by Amy Wong, that's what Christian was saying earlier. Mix it up, jam it deep, drop it short. Don't give the opponent a chance to read what you're going to do because you're telegraphing the ball. And again, Kazuhara, his counterattack is so strong. It has been all Texas for the last game and a half.
2-5.
This order right now with G-Way hitting to Amy Wong should give Portland a little bit of an advantage. Kazuhara is the X factor. If he's attacking, it's going to be tough for G-Way to do anything.
6-3.
That's the beauty of mixed doubles. When you change the order with the male playing to the female, it can cause some mismatches. And again, Kazahara keeping the pressure going.
He's not in a great position standing that far off the table to attack, and yet each of those last 2 points, he put Ji-Wei in a really difficult spot.
Yeah, it's his footwork and his racket
4,
speed to
7.
be able to re-loop the ball, because you can swing faster than the ball's coming at you. Gives you so many options.
From one corner of the table to the other.
Just some heavy
4.
side spin where it looked like Rachel was having trouble tracking the amount. And just kept one on the table, but unable to cover it.
8-4 lead for the Smash here in game 3. I misspoke before,
9,
Sean. It was literally 18-4 in points. 11-3 in game 1, 7-1 in game 2. And then since that time now, 19-7 the other way.
5-9 peddlers.
Game points aplenty here for the Smash to go up 6-3. And they only need one. How about that? After getting outscored 18-4 in the first 22 points they played, Hiromitsu Kasahara and Amy Wong completely boomerang their success the other way. And they take game 3 going away 11-5 as the Smash have built a 6-3 lead on a day when they really needed to play well. It's going according to plan so far for the Texas Smash. We're back to singles in just a moment.
Up to at most 5 points. So hypothetically, if you were leading 9-6 at the end of the 5 matches, you'd start 3-0 in the golden game. If you were leading 10-5 or 15-0, you'd start 5-0 in the golden game. I'll tell you more about that in a bit. In case you're curious about how players match up, the first match and the last match are for the top 2 players on each team. So the A player can play either the A player or the B player. Man,
and now we're joined by the former U.S. Open champion, the former college champion, and now soon-to-be Olympian, Amy Wong of the Texas Smash. Amy, slow start for you and Hiromitsu in that last match. They actually won 18 of the first 22 points that you played, and then it flipped. How?
Low-key, I kind of just swing at it. Like, we were down way too much the second game, so I was just like, just go for it. Because I feel like in the beginning I missed too much, and then I think that caused Hiro a little bit of like uncomfort, because like we didn't have a lot of rallies. But I think second and third game Hiro did really well. And he was the savior of this match, I would say.
Yeah, he definitely did a great job of counterattacking, especially some of Ji-Wei's balls, but it seemed that your serve return, your deep changing, that's what Christian said during their timeout, was to mix the ball up, that you did a great job of mixing it. How is it right now? Who's coaching you in the doubles match? Was Coach Jorg able to say things to you, or did you just speak with Kazahara directly?
We spoke with each other. We also spoke with our teammates, but Jorg also gave us some advice through Nishan, and Nishan told us the advices that Jorg gave us, and I think we all just worked really well together.
What was the advice?
Oh, just for me to stop missing. And like, just like, I guess just keep fighting and just don't give up.
That's good advice. Obviously, you've made more than you've missed throughout your career. Since the MLTT West Division last convened, you qualified for the Olympics. Congratulations. What did that mean to you?
Yeah, it was huge. I was really excited, but I'm also just really excited to be the same team with the girls at Pan Am Games. And I'm happy for me and Rachel, because we really been through a lot with school and everything. I'm just glad that we both managed through, and yeah.
Who's the messier roommate? Remind me, you were Rachel?
Rachel is. Rachel.
Okay. That's the important stuff. Congrats on the doubles win here. We'll see you in the golden game in a little bit. Thank you, Amy.
Thank you.
All right, we shift back to singles and a really pivotal match here for the Portland Paddlers. Tyrese Knight can play well. He can get Portland right back in the mix with Ji-Wei Shaw, as Sean has called him, the heart and soul of the Paddlers. Could give Portland the lead going into the Golden Game, but if Daryl Tsao can keep things rolling, he could clinch a lead for this match heading into the Golden Game by winning this match here against Tyrese Knight.
1-0.
First team to 8 will cinch it for their team going into the Golden Game. So,
and why is that so important, Sean? Well, for the entire season, teams with a lead entering the Golden Game have won almost 80% of the time. And it's an even higher percentage in the calendar year 2024. There have been 5 MLTT weekends since the calendar flipped to 2024. That's 30 Golden Games. 6 Golden Games per weekend over the course of 5 weekends. Teams with the league going into the Golden Games this year are 27-3.
And we cannot forget that when you win that Golden Game, you are rewarded with 6 points, which this late into the season is huge.
Now it is worth mentioning that Texas has been as good as any team in the league in coming from behind to win Golden Games. In fact, they've come from behind twice against the Portland Paddlers. Back in September and November, Portland had a 9-6 lead on the team tally heading into the Golden Game, only to cough up that lead and let Texas celebrate.
3-4.
And you know, if Portland had just taken care of business in those Golden Games, they would probably be almost clinched a playoff spot by now. But you know, here we are. Texas was 11 points behind Portland for the final playoff spot in the division coming into today. A 6-3 lead has them within 8 points. Obviously, they got the majority of the points in this match still available. 21 total points up for grabs. Every point counts. Sean, I remember you saying that the day we met on the air in Daytona Beach. That was your primary message, how you like the format, because every point counts, and all season long that has kind of been the lingering motto, other than think you're good. It's every point counts.
It really does, and I think the genius of playing 3 games regardless, it's like 3 individual matches. We heard that from the players early on, is that you cannot think if you go up 2-0 that you've won the match, because it's actually 3 opportunities to score for your team. And we've seen today so far, every match has gone 3 games.
7-5.
Any one of those turns into a sweep, you get more separation. So Tyrese looking good right now. I would say normally, just from a styles perspective, that Daryl, stronger forehand, offensive minded.
7-6.
Tyrese likes to play all court, big forehand. Of course, with the long pips on his backhand, he's a chopper. But he likes to get that third ball attacking. And if he can be selective,
6-8.
that can really knock Daryl Tsao out of his game. Daryl's about a 200 rating point better when he's attacking than when he's defending. That's more due to his age and his experience.
6-9.
He's an attacker. Tyrese brings an entire menu of options. Well, that's a lucky break there. That push hung in the air, and Daryl looked like he took a full swing before he got into position.
Tough swing and a miss for Daryl Tsao, who had a birthday in March, but is still a teenager and not a end of the decade teenager. He's just 17.
And he played awesome in Everett and some of the previous matches as well. So really kind of found his form, and that's a very big point for Portland.
11-7.
To get the first game.
Tyrese Knight claims game 1, 11-7. 25-year-old from Barbados. With an important point for the paddlers, as Sean mentioned, a sweep and he could tie this thing up 6-all.
One thing I will say, long pips are difficult to attack with. They're a defensive rubber. They're meant for using your opponent's spin to give it back to them, spin reversal. But the thicker the sponge is underneath, the quieter the ball is when you hit it. It doesn't have that little sound, and it gives you a chance to attack because the ball sinks in to the long pips. So you see Tyrese today, 4-5, played a few points in a row where he attacked with his long pips, and that immediately set him up for a follow-up forehand. Keep your eyes on how
So Tyrese Knight,
when he twiddles it and turns it around.
5th round pick of the Portland Paddlers.
The most aggressive defender in the game is Tyrese.
He takes game 1 over Daryl Sal.
Game number 2.
Second game.
Tyrese
Smash to
had
serve.
arguably his
0-0.
best performance of the season in January on home turf. And he went 5-4 in singles for the Paddlers. He went 2-4, playing in just 2 of the 3 matches. I keep wanting to say last month, but technically it was a month and a half ago now. 5-6 weeks ago, when the West Division teams played in Everett, Washington at the end of February.
And these first 4 points are really going to tell the story of this match. Daryl making some classic mistakes of keeping the ball too low on his control loops and going too much when he's trying to finish the ball. That's what Tyrese wants to have happen. As a defender, you're counting on your opponent to make mistakes. And right now, Tyrese is really mixing it up well, getting his forehand going. Look at that. That's what a start for Portland.
Behind.
We're chatting before about the disadvantage of Jorg Vitzigayo not being here in person and watching from afar. I know you, Sean, as a coach, do a fair amount of virtual coaching. What's the mindset as a virtual coach as opposed to an in-person coach? Both in terms of the message you give, but also the way you observe on video as opposed to in person. Is it significantly harder for you as a virtual coach to see?
Absolutely. I mean, you know tactically, because you're watching the match, whether you're seeing it in person or on tape or on video or through an app. The difference is the player doesn't see you during the match. Right. And seeing your coaching advice, because you can give coaching, seeing your expression or your acknowledgement when they make a good shot. That's what's really missing. So Daryl will get tactical advice at the end of the game.
5-2.
And Jorg will be able to call a timeout relatively easy if he sees the action getting out of hand. But it's really that trust and that connection during the rally. And that's what makes team table tennis so exciting.
Again, in Seattle or in Everett, they had an iPad. Here it's just a cell phone.
Yeah, I think, and also having one of the players with the ear pods in, being able to basically be a translator or a interpreter of what Jorg is seeing will be beneficial, but there's no substitute to having your coach stand up and cheer for you. And Daryl right back in this game.
Yeah, after trailing 4-0.
So Portland, and here comes the timeout.
Timeout, Paddlers.
Christian Lillarus. This will be the final timeout for the Paddlers until the Golden Game.
And it's, again, after a
So you won a couple of points chopping, then you started with too passive. So the thing is that now you're playing way too passive. You're like, because you lose the aggressive edge, then your chops becomes easier. It has to be fast, sometimes chop. Now you win one on chop and you think you're going to win everything on chop. No. So you have to look for really playing aggressive right now.
On the hips and sometimes kind of like some flow like that again.
It's like, especially when you push it back, and don't push it back. Now you push him back. He pushed you back, and everything is pushed back. And that's what it comes to easy, right? You go in with attack with the backhand or step around.
I might also want to kind of just shot his throw. He got 4 points. But let's fight for every point.
Wow.
Let's go for it, okay?
If I see everybody here with a butterfly racket in your hand by the end
I have to play aggressive. Play aggressive. Come on now.
5-5. Okay, let's go, man.
Few timeouts have been used. Remember, in the Golden Game, they will each have 1 timeout each team. Back here in game number 2, it's tied up at 5 points.
Primary message, basically stop being predictable.
Exactly, and that's what Christian relayed in the doubles as well.
Right.
Now you can see Daryl when he's attacking, especially into the long pips on the backhand side, is giving himself a lot more margin to clear the net. He's not trying to play the perfect shot. That time Tyrese did a nice job. Played the backhand bump on the backhand, turned it into more of an offensive shot than just chopping it and giving Daryl a chance to make a big swing. Again, good move. Not a straight chop, and that's what Jonathan McDonald was saying. On the backhand, come across the ball. Don't just go underneath it. Create a little bit of side spin, which makes it more difficult to drive. Wow, that timeout.
8-6.
Straight points afterwards. Even got team owner Edan Levy out of his seat. It's these points right here. You know,
caught in between there.
And Christian mentioned, if you look at some of the banners in the background, there is a little bit of air circulation. And for a defensive player that tries to keep the ball in that back edge of the table, that can play tricks with your mind.
Yeah, folks have said it's windy here inside the arena. And Daryl Sow has retaken the lead.
What a game of streaks we've seen here with the paddlers and the Texas Smash. Excellent drop shot by Knight. Just took the service advantage away, dropped it, and then got his forehand into play. Smart location out to the forehand side.
10-9 lead for Sow as the chop caught the net. Game point for the Smash.
And a big serve by Tyrese Knight to mix it up.
For the first time here in Wichita, we've got a golden point.
Golden points.
Daryl Sow takes game 2, 11-10, and the trend continues, Sean O'Neill. Through 4 straight matches today, we have not seen a player claim the first 2 games straight. So for the 4th straight match, we've got a rubber game coming up here in this 3rd singles spot. Tyrese Knight and Daryl Sow, 1 game apiece as Daryl takes that golden point. So Daryl Sow began the season as a 16-year-old. He just turned 17 in early March.
We'll come back to you if we have more questions. Stay here for us. This is game number 3 with Tyrese
Somehow,
Knight and Daryl Tao.
some way, battled his way back into that second game.
0-0.
Now he's got an opportunity here to clinch the lead going into the Golden game for the smash. But Tyrese Knight returns to the table with some pep.
One. Smash.
Pep only takes you so far.
Two, one.
Daryl just playing the big points extremely well here in games 2 and at the beginning of game 3.
Good deep serve, had Knight on his heels from the opening shot.
And Daryl just more sure of himself when he's attacking. That's a good control opening. And good placement. Really jammed Knight in the middle of the body.
Let's.
5-1 lead for Daryl Tsao as they switch sides here in game 3. And Portland does not have another timeout to use with Tyrese Knight struggling here.
You can see right now Daryl testing his toss. See a little bit of that air circulation to keep this arena cool.
6-1.
Would that bother you as a player?
Yeah, if you go toss the ball and the ball moves an inch in the air on your serve.
2-6.
It's not the optimum. Definitely you don't want to have your toss in that high toss zone of a 6 to 9 foot toss if the ball is going to be moving.
It's well done by Daryl Tsao, mixing it up, playing short and long.
Just, again, taking his time, not rushing is the key when you're playing a defensive player. Bring them in, bring them out. And again, Daryl's doing a nice job even on the backhand attacks to keep that ball deep and consistent in play, not going for too much.
Service error from Tsao. Chance to go up 9-3. Instead, it's back to 8-4, and see if Tyrese can capitalize on it with his serves here. No, Daryl's in total control right now.
And just great placement. You could see almost every time Tyrese goes for a counterattack, he's up against a ball into his body, jamming him, not giving him any space. Once again.
4-10.
Tyrese fights off 1 game point, but he's got a long way to go. Daryl can clinch the lead for the smash heading into the Golden game. And that'll do it.
11-5.
Impressive stuff from Daryl Tsao, especially after winning that Golden point in game 2. He follows it up by smashing Tyrese Knight in game 3. It's now an 8-4 lead on the team tally for the Texas Smash. They inch closer to second place. One more singles match coming up, and then the all-important Golden game here in Wichita.
So for example, Jeremy, you'll like this. This is for Jeremy. So Sonora Silva, for example, you could be a C or a D player and still be one of the top 3 in the league because it's how you do against your opponents. And if you're a C player, usually you're playing C or D. Fun fact.
We are joined now by Daryl Tsao. The coach has to be pretty pleased. Daryl, congrats. Very intense match. Take us through what was going through your mind, the golden point in game 2 and then heading into game 3.
I feel like I just started this match really, it felt so awkward, like the conditions, everything, but a good player, you need to adjust to your environment. So one's down 1-0, 10-10. I was pretty nervous actually because I knew I need to help my team. So I needed to just like play with the game plan, and yeah, that's about it. Just keep the ball on the table first and foremost.
Daryl, we saw you tossing the ball a couple times. Is it the airflow that is something that you're aware of? Is that one of the
yeah,
things
definitely.
Because
Sometimes, because when I toss the serve, I feel like the ball is going somewhere. So I kind of just want to get a feel for how far the ball is going to go, and then just get a serve on the table.
Sean mentioned in his analysis during the game how the key against a defensive player is to take your time and be patient. Is that something you were telling yourself during that game?
Yes, definitely. Especially after the first game, I felt like I was way too rushed, so I needed to adapt for the second and third game. So that's what I did.
What's it like having your coach watching but from thousands of miles away?
I don't really think too much, actually. It's just, I know he's always supporting us, so I just kind of just keep his presence within me, I guess, yeah.
Awesome. Daryl, we'll see you in the Golden Game. Thanks for... So the Texas Smash have clinched a lead going into the Golden Game, and now the question is how big will that lead be? If Nandan Naresh can take 2 out of 3 or sweep, it'll be the maximum 5-point lead. Ji-Wei Shah with other ideas for Portland, envisioning perhaps a sweep to get back within 1.
It's going to be tough for Ji-Wei. Nandan just finished Olympic tryouts himself, played against some very strong players, and look for him to play big. He has the lead. The team is going into the Golden Game with points on their side, so there's no reason for Nandan not to try to put the ball through Ji-Wei at every opportunity.
Nandan, another youngster, just turned 17 this past December. Ji-Wei Shah, much more of a veteran, playing this sport at a high level for a long time. First in China, then in Japan, and now in the Pacific Northwest.
And Ji-Wei's game is really safe. Although he plays offensive-minded, he never loops himself out of position every time he makes a strong attack. He's ready to sustain it and keep that ball going. And his short game, phenomenal.
1-3.
He can drop serves over the net, inch or two, which really throws off the server. That time, Nandan served it more half-long or deep, and that's one way to negate a very good short game of your opponent. Does it again, twice,
3-3.
opting for the deeper serve.
By the way, Sean, I mentioned before that in Everett, Texas was using an iPad for Coach Jorg. Now it's the iPhone. I'm told that the iPhone actually has the better camera.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Well, this is a game of rallies. 3 straight for Ji-Wei, and now 3 straight for Nandan.
Yeah, I'm guessing it's an iPhone, at least 14 or 15. So
high quality tech specs. Great hustle by Ji-Wei Shah, keeps it alive on the net ball, and then Nandan sends it long.
Rewarded for the extra fight. Nandan surprised that Ji-Wei was able to put a paddle on it. Once again, Nandan serving much deeper, knowing that any short serve is going to get dropped back over the net so short.
4-6.
The number of, I could call them service winners, but service advantages that Nandan has gotten with that deep serve. That's a safe ball by Ji-Wei. Nice backhand push, heavy underspin. Again, Ji-Wei winning the battle of the placement, able to get his forehand into play. You just see him playing it right into the body of Nandan.
Smash.
Ji-Wei needs to drive that ball instead of spinning it slowly. Anytime that ball has top spin on it off the serve. Oh, Nandan with a big, powerful backhand punch.
8.
2 big points off of Nandan's serve. Again, just see that drop shot by Ji-Wei, short to the forehand, but then instantly driving the ball into the body of his opponent. Excellent tactics. Oh, what a big mistake, and he's looking up as if maybe a little bit of the air circulation moved the ball from where it should have been. Oh, that's a great forehand block there by Ji-Wei.
9, 8.
And he needed that point big time.
Ten 8 lead now for Naresh.
10.
Aggressive serve. The right return by Ji-Wei to be more offensive minded. Just couldn't gauge the bounce.
Missed that one. Is it possible, Sean, that
9,
Nandan
10.
has gotten taller since September?
Very possibly. I mean, a lot of legs.
I mean, almost probable. He's 16, 17 years old. But yeah, it's almost like, I mean, he's always been tall and skinny, but it's like he's taller and skinnier. Great stuff from Ji-Wei. 10-all.
Great control of the short game. Ji-Wei able to drop one more ball to elicit the deep push to get his forehand in. But now we've seen Nandan, his serve has been so effective in this match.
Golden point. And he wins it with an ace.
11, 10.
Nandan Naresh has had the serve working since the start and pulls out a beauty to take game 1. It's an art form, and it flummoxed Ji-Wei Shah. 11-10. Texas leads 9-4.
Which first got a taste of Sonora Silva. They qualified despite starting off 4th in their division. They finished 2nd, an incredible rise. Will the same happen here? We will see. The West Division is incredibly close compared to the East Division. This whole weekend, it's still very much up in the air as to who will advance. Look at the curtain. Oh, she just hit. There she's back. Look at the curtains right now. This woman here is Robusta Dolska, coach for Seattle Spinners. She'll be fighting to get her team into the top 2 starting tonight at 7 p.m. But before then, we've got a lot to go.
Game 2 coming up here between Nandan Naresh and Ji-Wei Shah after a thrilling conclusion to game 1 for the Smash. Still to come tonight, the Seattle Spinners and the Bay Area Blasters. Scheduled to start around 8 o'clock Eastern, 7 o'clock Central. One nugget to throw at you, Sean, as this game continues.
0-2.
In 91.5% of all team matches this year, there has been at least one 3-0 sweep. We have not had a 3-0 sweep yet in this match. So either Nandan overcomes his 3-0 deficit and sweeps Ji-Wei Shah 3 straight, or this will be just the 8th time in 83 total matches where all 5 of the matches, singles and doubles, were 2-1 one way or another.
And tonight, with the order mixing it up as much as we've seen it, you would have thought that there would have been a couple sweeps, especially with David McBeth moving down from the 1-2 spot. So I just think these two teams are so evenly matched, and it is at such a critical juncture of the last match of the Western Conference, both teams fighting to make the playoffs. As you said earlier, Evan, the paddlers have a little bit more breathing space if things weren't to go their way, but that's the opportunity to shut out the opponent. And again, Nandan Naresh with the deep serves. Jiwei making contact on that one, but no pressure. And that's what Jiwei needs to do. Get into the counter-attacking rally, especially when he plays it into the body of Nandan.
In what ways have you seen Nandan evolve / improve since September? I mean, you remember that Santa Cruz weekend, he was overwhelmed facing Cole in the first time Texas ever played Portland.
Yeah, it looked like in that particular match he must have missed like 5 serves in a row. Just, I think.
Like he was 16, it was first ever professional match. It's understandable. But I asked the question more so just because theoretically a teenager after a 7-month season, you might see more development than a guy in his mid-30s, like Jiwei.
Absolutely, and I think with Nandan, it's just getting accustomed to the speed, the heavy spin of the ball. Of course, tactics and placement. I can't overestimate the value of being on a team, to having a coach there that's helping you in the preparation and then giving you that critical feedback after you lose a match of what you could have done differently. And I think just watching Nandan make different shot selections and also staying. Look at that serve. That serve. So both players agreed instantly. It's a great shot by Nandan had it not been a net.
Good sportsmanship from the two players, kind of figuring it out themselves. No, neither umpire made the call.
Jiwei just really struggling with the timing also. We've seen when he's been in the driver's seat, he's been winning the battle of the placement into the body and keeping the attacks going. But look at just an inch long here, an inch long there. And Nandan has really made the most of his serve. So I think Evan, additionally, his serve and serve return game, playing against such a high level, it's just been doing wonders for him against Jiwei. He's had more direct points off of his serves than I would have anticipated. Again, great placement. Jiwei had to work for that point. 2 solid backhands before stepping around and getting his forehand into play. Jiwei knows the importance of each of these games right now, not just for this particular team match, but the overall standing. And that's a smart move there.
9-8.
You just see him giving himself a little encouragement and pep. That first loop is so meaningful. He puts so much spin on the ball. Very difficult to counterattack it.
What a fascinating point that was. Both players hit some really good shots, but ultimately it's Jiwei Shaw creating a few game points here in game 2.
Fought for that ball amazingly. Nandan had him on the ropes, but Jiwei able to keep one more ball going. And I don't know why he's chopping those balls.
9,
Deep
10.
side spin, top spin to his backhand. Could have used Tyrese's racket on that one to use the long pips to bring it down, but 2 more game points. He
Only
takes
needs
it.
one.
11-9, second game.
So this will be just the 8th match across 83 matches this season where there is no sweep. 5 straight singles and doubles matches, 5 straight splits through the first 2 games. Rubber game coming up between Jiwei and Nandan as Shah earns the victory in game 2 by 2.
What's your history with table tennis? Man, I like it. In the Wednesday group at the office. Solid. All right. Are you sneaking into the office as well, Kyle? At the office? Home office. I like it. Represent. The more work, it's the best. And we'll see what I'm talking about. It's the first. It's definitely one of the two. Tough to tell. How you're going to be playing it. I'll have a chance there. Every day we're here. And if you get here 30 minutes before the show tomorrow, we'll have a chance to play. Time is called. This is it. The final game before the golden game. It is Jiwei Shah and Nandan Naresh.
Alrighty, as the Portland Paddlers sit right now, 5 points today. They've tied the Bay Area Blasters at 199.
Smash the serve.
1 more
0,
point still
0.
up for grabs here. Texas, a 9-5 lead.
0-1.
Will it be 9-6 or will it be 10-5? And what will the order in the Golden Game be? Those
Order is going to be everything.
1.
Take me into what you think Christian is contemplating and then what Jorg is thinking in terms of ideal matchups or matchups you want to try and avoid.
I think Christian would love to have all the same matches, even though they lost 2-1.
Really?
In the Golden Games. He doesn't want to go risky because he's got the lead right now, so he wants to keep it as close as possible, knowing that, yeah, it's a 6 point one way or the other. But this order wasn't so bad. Vila did a nice job. Cole obviously under the weather. Tyrese maybe a couple of points in game 2 at up 6-2, 6-3 after winning the first game. All these matches were winnable by either side. It just shows you how close they are in level. So this match, Nandan would love to add 1 more point going into the Golden Game.
You look at the score right now, it's 9-5. There have been 2 golden points, both won by Texas. You flip those 2 golden points around, it's 7-7.
Exactly. Now these teams, and Portland came into here in Wichita definitely on a roll, sweeping all 3 matches in Seattle and Everett. So
yeah, Paddlers earned 47 out of the possible 63 points in that Washington weekend. Moved from 4th place in the West into 2nd place.
When you take out the entire field, that's going to move you up rather quickly, and they had a couple that were sizable wins. So Jiwei knows what's going on right now and the importance of each and every game.
The other thing to contemplate going into the Golden Game is just what Cole are we going to get? You know, how much energy will he have in the short 4-point increments? Don't forget, we are 3 weeks away from the first ever Major League Table Tennis Championship weekend. It'll be in Chicago at Loyola Chicago, April 26th and April 27th.
Oh, that ball caught the back edge.
6-3.
Jiwei worked so hard to earn that point, and at the very end, Nandan's ball just clipped the back edge. I saw Jiwei. You can see the frustration on Jiwei's face right now.
It's understandable. You feel like you're playing pretty well and you're down 7-3.
And then you basically play the perfect point and the opponent gets a back edge at a point you absolutely had to have.
And Nandan is just locked in.
3-8.
8-3 lead here for the smash.
He's just free swinging. No difficulty going for the counterattack. Oh, Nandan made a great backhand, and Ji-Wei just said, okay, let me raise you one, and backhanded off the bounce faster than you can get ready to play the next ball.
Wicked backhand return from Ji-Wei Shaw.
And that's almost a little bit of a frustration one, where I'm not going to put it on the table. I'm going to just rip it.
Timeout, Texas. Got Nishant Labaka mic'd up. He's on the phone with Jorg Bitzigayo.
I don't know if you guys felt it, but it was uncomfortable for me to watch. To be able to hit the ball that hard is crazy. To be able to do it on a receive like that in a moment like this, that's dangerous. That's crazy. So, a timeout here.
Bro, your tactic is perfect. When you do like this, you make like the forehand, and you're playing closer to the table. Your tactic is perfect. Yeah, exactly. Just 2 balls. You just make your serve. You make your serve, and like depending on the spin that you put on your serve, you just get ready for the second ball. For instance, if you make like underspin, you just make sure you get your legs ready and you get your spin. And when you make topspin, you just get your legs ready, and you just get ready for the next ball. Because the next ball's not going to be that powerful. He just bailed out this one.
Like
doesn't really
ventriloquism right now.
Okay.
Right?
I don't know. I might serve on back. I might serve on fun. Yeah, whatever you do. I don't know. I feel.
And the conversation right here is not the way it appears.
Just a couple high school kids who happen to be professional table tennis players talking strategy with their internationally renowned coach following along from Germany.
Just 3 points between them. Nandan Naresh here and Ji-Wei Shaw.
8-5.
That's really good stuff from Nandan Naresh. And I want to follow up on one thing you said earlier, Sean. You said order is everything. And you said Portland probably wants to keep the same order. Wouldn't Texas be fine keeping the same order too?
They would, but they can be a little,
5,
I would almost
10.
think risky if they wanted to throw Amy somewhere in a mixed singles match. We've seen
10,
teams like
6.
Chicago really move things around and get some solid mismatches. Right now, it has been all Texas, and Texas continues to roll.
11-6,
yeah, the Smash go 2 out of 3 in all 5 matches to take a 10-5 lead going into the Golden Game. If the Smash can pull off this Golden Game victory, they will be deadlocked with the Portland Paddlers in the West Division's chase for the playoffs.
Exactly tied for second place. And tonight at 7 o'clock, the Bay Area Blasters in first place will be battling against the 4th place Seattle Spinners. Could be very interesting.
Well, the day began with Hiromitsu Kasahara taking 2 out of 3 from Kole, who clearly was not at the top of his game, but impressive stuff from Kasahara nonetheless. And, well, 2-1 to the Smash was a familiar refrain as Macbeth playing in the CD slot got the better of Isak Vila. And then Portland dominated at the start of the double, Sean, before everything flipped.
No, Texas just turned the switch, and it seemed like Amy Wong just figured out to stop missing.
Daryl Sow, after dropping game 1, takes 2 out of 3 from Tyrese Knight. And then in the last match you just saw, Nandan Naresh won a golden point in the opening game and then closed strong in game 3. So it's a 10-5 lead for the Texas Smash. Let's toss it to Mimi Bosica to determine the order for the Golden Game.
Thank you, Adam. As you mentioned, the Texas Smash lead 10-5 against Portland. So they will start with a 5-0 lead, which means Portland will get the first serve and also the first choice of player.
Isak Vila.
Isak Vila, who will play against Isak for Texas. David Macbeth will play first, who will play second for Texas. Daryl Tsao will play second. Portland, who will play?
Rachel Sung.
Rachel Sung will play second. Who will play third for Portland?
Curly.
Kool-Aid will play third. How about you, Texas? Hiromitsu Kasahara will go third. Who will go fourth? Amy Wong will go fourth, which means Nanda Naresh will go fifth. Who will play against Amy Wong from Portland?
Tyrese.
Tyrese Knight will play fourth. Jiwei Shaw will play fifth for you. Okay, coaches, good luck, and let's have some fun.
So 3 of the slots are rematches from regulation. And then we get Rachel Sung against Daryl Sal and Tyrese Knight against Amy Wong. Whose lineup do you like better?
Well, Christian decided, especially with the chopper, to get that matchup against Amy Wong, who plays excellent against offensive. We'll see how that matchup goes. But I would say right now, Texas, slight advantage. Portland taking some chances.
And that means they take the match.
Macbeth dropped the opening game against Isak Vila 11-4, but then won games 2 and 3. These two players will play 3 points, 1 serve for Vila and then 2 for Macbeth. Macbeth apologetic for the net ball, but he will certainly take it.
Vila did a great job of getting back into the point. Right now, this is where a team can really blow out the game.
Sends into the deep backhand corner, 7-0, second serve, Dave Macbeth.
This is what I don't think Christian predicted.
Beautiful long push here.
That
Isaac Vila gets
putting
his
Vila
first
out
point
there
on the
first
scoreboard.
gave Texas a chance
Rachel Sung
to get a little bit of a mismatch.
On the receive.
Rachel Sung versus Daryl Sal. Rachel has held her own in the Golden Games all season long, no matter who her opponent has been.
Very effective lefty, mixes up the serve and serve return.
Honestly, Sean, she started slowly in the Golden Games in September, losing 14 of the 20 Golden Game points she's played, but she's above 500 for the year, which speaks to just how successful
she has a
been
chance for
since that first
golden
weekend.
sweep right here. Shows you the power and skill level of the women of Major League Table Tennis. Not only do we have 3 of them going to Paris, but they're fighting to help their teams get to Chicago.
Carries long. Daryl Sal with a much needed point.
Salvages the final point, a 4-point lead for Texas. Kasahara and Kole come back to the table.
I think, Evan, the key in this 4-point matchup is when Kasahara gets to serve on the 3rd point. Will he have any difficulty getting his attack going? The paddlers are slowly creeping back into this golden game. Oh, was that close?
Service 5 serving 8 again.
It was just a let. Kasahara with some quick hitting.
And now Kasahara with the serve. Will Kole go safe and try to keep the ball short and low? Nice deeper return. Cut across the ball. Would love to bring it within 2 points.
Well, they'll settle for the split.
Too much spin on it. The flip
high
over
popping
the table.
return. Kasahara able to smash it with ease.
This is going to be an exciting matchup here. Tyrese has played against the best women in this golden game in prior matches when he played Lily Jung.
Another short serve that just crawled over the net for a let.
Big point. Another big point. Amy going for broke with the forehand smash off the first dead ball.
It was 7-0, wasn't it?
I believe so.
Yeah, 8 of the last 10 points. 8 of the last 11 points, I should say. And now 9 of the last 12.
And this is where Coach Lillaros really wanted to create a mismatch with styles.
Wong needs this one to keep the lead.
That was a deep serve right into the forehand pocket of Tyrese that caught the net.
The golden sweep for Tyrese Knight, and we are tied 10-all. The 5-0 lead, and in fact the 7-0 lead has completely disappeared.
These 6 points, if they went to the Paddlers, would be huge.
Right now, Portland currently tied for first place in the West Division with 199 points with the Blasters, who have yet to play today.
And you can hear Ji-Wei Shaw. He knows Portland has the lead.
Paddlers up now for the first time this game.
Not just in the golden game.
I feel like we might get a timeout from Texas if Ji-Wei wins this next point. Which he does, we shall see. It's a 12-3 run right now for the Smash, or for the Paddlers, I should say.
And Ji-Wei again dominating the short game.
More energy from the Paddlers bench. And that's a 13-10 lead.
And this looks like the Ji-Wei that we saw in Everett and in Portland, where after every single point, full encouragement. Great shot by Nandan. Ji-Wei made a quality backhand loop, and Nandan able to counterattack it from net level.
John, is this a good time to remind you that teams entering the Golden Game with a 5-0 lead this year are 35-2? The 95% winning rate.
Just don't mention that to the Paddlers.
One of those 5-0 comebacks was the Paddlers against Seattle back in September.
Vila
tied again, 13-all.
Vila has to bring his A game. He's got to do more than just put the ball into play. And that's a big point. Each one of these, both teams have to play it like it's the final point to get into the playoffs in Chicago.
Very well could be. Macbeth goes with a short serve, takes 3 out of 4. So Macbeth ties it up for Texas, 14-all. Rachel Sunk versus Daryl Sal. 4 more points for these two players. And man, are these points massive. Texas back on top.
Daryl knows he has to land his forehand loop as early in the point as possible. Aggressive serve return
takes the first 2
by Daryl Sal, creating some separation and fighting for a golden sweep with his serve.
Won both points on Sung's serve. But Sung responds. We're back within 1. 1 more point for these two, and then Kole versus Hiro Kasahara. Three out of 4 for Sal this time after Sung took 3 out of 4 last time. And the Smash back up by 2. Kasahara trying to inch Texas closer to the finish line. There'll be a three-way tie with 199 points apiece for the Blasters, the Paddlers, and the Smash if Texas can close out this win.
And Kasahara, just great counter-attacking ability. Cole made a good opening, but Kasahara right off the bounce. Within striking range to finish the match.
Shot that carries on. Cole with the spin. The opening attack.
We've experienced these types of moments all season long, Sean O'Neill, and the tension does not get old. I'll tell you, this is riveting stuff. 19-16 lead for Texas.
What a big backhand block by Kasahara down the line.
Oh, Cole pulls a rabbit out of his paddle and brings Portland within 2.
Check the replay on screen. Short stroke, barely a blink from Cole.
Amy Wong has been in this position multiple times.
Amy Wong on the
right
receive.
now.
The night train, Tyrese Knight to serve.
Tyrese Knight misses his own serve.
That's a killer. Now Tyrese needs to win each of these next 3. Amy Wong sends it to the net. But the game match on Texas's paddle. Timeout Texas. Amy Wong's going to have a little bit extra time to contemplate what to do with these next couple of serves. If G-Way...
And at a time like this, the whole team will be talking. What can I give him? How can I get myself in for a third ball attack? Remember, at this level, rarely are players serving to win the point outright.
It's good. I promise it's good.
Just to make it uncomfortable enough that the opponent plays something.
Let's go! Come on, Amy! Let's go! Let's go!
If Tyrese Knight can win these next 2 points on Amy's serve, then it'll be G-Way versus Nandan on the ultimate golden point.
I got to feel like Amy is going to go for a winner.
Amy Wong finishes it for Texas. And the Smash are right back in the thick of the West Division race after a 16-5 win to start this weekend in Wichita.
And they were in deep trouble as Portland Paddlers took over the lead.
What a golden game from 7-0 up. The Smash gave up the lead, but Portland just did not have enough to get to the finish line. And now, after coming into the weekend 11 points out of a playoff spot, the Smash are not just in the mix for a playoff spot, they're in the mix for first place after this opening statement of the final weekend of the season.
What a competitive match with now the top 3 teams all at 199. And Portland, they're going to have to find a solution for the Bay Area when they play Seattle. Because right now, Texas has gotten their groove back on, and this young team is looking very hungry.
All smiles from the Smash. Can only imagine what it's like in Germany right now with Coach Jörg Pizzigaio following from afar. Amy Wong, like she's done many times this year, coming up clutch in the golden game. And we're going to chat with Dave Macbeth, one of the leaders of this Texas team. Got 2 points in singles and then played well in the golden game as well. Dave, thanks for joining us again. Adjusting the headset. Dave, congrats on a great win for you and your team. What were the nerves like on the bench? I must say, it got a little quiet over there from your bench as Portland made their run. You guys were up 7-0, and I think you were down 12-10. but you turned it around. What were you guys saying to each other over there on the bench?
I think definitely a little bit is set in because obviously we had the 5-0 start. So normally you feel like you're definitely going to win. I don't know what the odds are. I've seen some statistics. They are quite heavy in favour of having a lead. But yeah, during that middle part, I definitely think everyone sort of felt a little bit of nerves, and yeah, we did well. I tried to obviously chip in a little bit and bring it back.
Well, it seems like Amy Wong is always in the
Always.
driver's seat at the end of these golden games and delivered so big today.
Yeah, well, again, at the time out there, we were just telling her just to relax. Obviously, there's not much pressure. I think Tyrese served in the net, so he must have been feeling some nerves.
You can look at the standings, David. I mean, the Smash came into this weekend 11 points out of a playoff spot, and now for this exact moment, you're sitting at the top of the table.
Yeah, well, we kind of knew after the last weekend that this was not the be-all and end-all, but obviously if we took a heavy loss today, then there's a good chance we'd be up against it to come back. So we kind of knew that this was the way back in to try and top the leaderboard. So.
Well, congratulations on a fantastic start to the weekend for not just you, but your team.
Yeah.
And look forward to seeing you. You got the nightcap against Seattle tomorrow. Get some rest. I know you'll enjoy that rest.
Yeah, I will.
We'll see you tomorrow.
Cheers. Thank you.
Cheers. Dave Macbeth and the Texas Smash have created just a fascinating race. I mean, look at this. Could you imagine back in September that we'd be, heading into the penultimate day of the regular season with, at the minimum, Texas and Portland are going to head into tomorrow with 199. We'll see what the Blasters can do tonight against Seattle, whether they can create a substantial cushion. Look, Seattle, they can't come back and tie. They're 32 points behind, but they could gain some ground, and if they could put together a 16-5 win of their own, they'll be right in the mix. Let's chat with Amy Wong. Amy, you're out there at 2018 Golden Game, timeout called. What did your teammates and coach say?
They were really supportive and encouraging of me because they know that going up to the match, I was at a disadvantage because playing choppers is actually my weakness. I'm really bad at playing choppers. So I think they just gave me a lot of confidence. And although I lost the 4 consecutive points in the beginning, and I made them catch up to 10-10, I think rather than being disappointed, my team was really encouraging and supportive. I'm really glad to be a part of it.
How thrilled were you when he missed his serve in the very first at the end of the match? Were you thinking, okay, now I can relax a little bit, or were you feeling the same amount of pressure?
I think I was feeling the same amount of pressure. I think my goal going into that with Tyrese the second time was just to win 1 point. So even if we make it to 2020, I believe that Nandan, who's playing Jiwei the next one, I believe that he can win. So my goal going into that match was just get 1 point.
Yeah, that's putting a lot of pressure on Nandan, but you've been in the Golden Games. Tell me, how does it feel different compared to non-MLTT when you're going into the Golden Games? Is it a different mindset? Are you thinking be safe? Are you thinking be more aggressive? How do you approach these final points?
I think for me, I need to be a little bit more aggressive because when I play passively, I get more nervous. So I kind of just swing at it because it's only 4 points. I mean, I have to take every point really seriously. And I think it's a lot more difficult than an actual match.
What are the biggest things that you'll be thinking about heading into tomorrow in your nightcap against Seattle?
Tomorrow, just hopefully we can do the same as today. Hopefully we win. And yeah, just no pressure. I think we all enjoy being a part of this team. And we're all just happy that everyone's here, except Yoan, who unfortunately couldn't be here this week. But yeah, we're just happy to be together again.
Impressive stuff. And congratulations. We'll see you tomorrow.
Thank you.
So, Sean, we talked in the open how it was kind of a must-win night for Texas, and the Smash delivered. Now, can the Paddlers regroup heading into tomorrow? I mean, they're still on level ground, but obviously the momentum belongs to the team from Texas.
Yeah, I think both teams felt, as streaky as this match was, is that they had to be down in order to kind of awaken the sleeping giant within. So I anticipate that the message was sent to Portland. They'll be ready for tomorrow, but having all 3 teams, what a contrast with the East Coast. of all three teams at the top at 199.
Wild stuff. Our weekend has just begun here in Wichita. We got the Bay Area Blasters and the Seattle Spinners coming up at the top of the hour, about 45 minutes from now. For our entire broadcast crew and for my partner Sean O'Neill, Evan Lepler saying so long for now. The Texas Smash are right back in the thick of the West Division playoff chase here in the final weekend of the season.